Hello, everybody. So I know everybody has seen me in many videos do calculations of beams, a little bit of zoning analysis, code analysis, design, actually, even designing a little bit. But you haven't really seen me put it together a permit set. You haven't seen me, work on a actual construction permit set. And what a better project than a small kitchen and kind of first floor renovation. So I'll keep it simple, right to the point, and straightforward. Once you've already obtained an approval from the client to move forward with the design option, that's when you start moving into construction documents, unless told otherwise, right? Because fast track projects, sometimes you have to just move into construction documents immediately. In this case, we have already gotten approval. In fact, we got approved yesterday for these, and I have the project open in Revit right now. And I'll just walk you through my mindset, my process, but I'll actually just do it while I'm talking to you. All right. So first things first, most of my design elements are on presentation mode because that's the format that we use here at Flow Design to generate or step 1 through 3. If you do not know what I'm talking about, you need to go back and watch our 1, 2, and 3 steps process, which we have a video that explains them very, very well. So that's it. We're on step 3. It has already been approved, and voila, we got to move into step 4, the final step, permit set. So our template already has all of these different sheets, and the first thing I do, I really just like to focus my mind into what really matters. I don't like to have a lot of noise and distraction. And having a bunch of sheets that I will not use and I will not need is a distraction. So on this project, I'm making some judgment calls. Judgment calls is your experience tells you that you will likely not need X, Y, and Z. My experience tells me that for this particular kitchen renovation project, I will not need a coordination plan. And it's not just experience. You can go back to the contract. Remember, that's the first item within every project. And you can see, well, did the architect or the project manager or the owner or whoever dictate that they wanted to do a coordination plan for this? No. So likely not. Finished floor plan? No, I'm not doing that. I barely need a door schedule and I barely need a window schedule because there's only a couple of windows. That's another thing. You got to always look at the scope, look at the project, and just make all of these different smart decisions. At the end of the day, it's just smart decisions. Like, hey, I only have 3 windows. I could potentially call them out on the window, on the floor plan. We do have Revit. Revit makes life amazing, but also makes it complicated. Because you may not need a door or window schedule if you could just call the door. Hey, I need a 36-inch by 6'8" door or 6'6" door. Period. Done. Right? So, first thing I do, I clean up my set. So you can follow. I always like to tell people, I tell people, hey, listen, what I do, you don't have to necessarily do everything I tell you. I want you to understand it. But ultimately, I want you to do it the way I tell you. I'm really being honest. I really just want you to do it the way I tell you. If you happen to come up with a better way, call me up because I want to know. But when I teach you something, it's because it's the best possible way I have come up with in my 16 plus years of working in architecture. So if you know a better way, I welcome it. And I'm open to it, but start with the way I'm teaching it. So we're going to need a cover sheet. Yes. We're not going to need a skate sheet, so I'm going to delete that. So I start from the top. We are going to need a life safety plan. Yeah, only one. It's only one floor. So I'll delete that. Now, one thing. Life safety plans are always generally required, but I may be able to put this into the other plans. So that's another thing. So let's just clean up the things that we don't need. This project is a kitchen renovation project. We do not have civil engineering drawings. Structural drawings, yeah, we do. We have an LBL and some posts. I know this because I designed this, right? So I know those items. So, I'll delete this one. It's too elaborate for this particular project. These ones barely apply. Honestly, they barely apply. Basically, only that detail right here is going to apply. And maybe this detail right here. The other ones will not apply. So I'll just delete the other ones that do not apply. I don't want noise. I don't want distractions. I don't want to think about things that don't really matter. I want to think about the things that do matter. Okay? And that's the first thing. I start cleaning. It's like when I used to work by hand, I clean my desk. the first thing I would do before I drafted anything, I'll clean my desk, I'll grab the papers, I'll make sure that everything that I'm doing is relevant to the project. These details are good. Maybe I can consolidate them. You know what? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna already start dragging these details. You can just drag it, by the way, from one spot to the other. Okay. And I'm consolidating these details because I'm likely gonna need them. Now this is a legend, I already have it, so this legend right here is there twice, so I can just delete that legend. Um, and again, I'm just making some preliminary cleaning. This is before I really start with my shotgun approach, like dun 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 dun, just getting things done, getting things done. You know, so I like to first it's like I always tell everybody, I do not get in the car and start driving when I don't know where I'm going. So I want to know those things are not applicable. I do not care about them. So I'm gonna just clean my desk, cleaning my desk. So you're gonna need life safety cover sheet. You're gonna need structural plans. You're gonna need existing plans. You're gonna need a demo plan, and you're gonna need your architecturals. And your architecturals may include a floor plan, maybe a 3D, some interior elevations, and large bathroom. Yeah, there is a bathroom, so we will need that. Window schedule, the schedule. Okay, great. All right. What happens with presentation? Technically, presentation is see you later, baby. It's done. We're no longer in presentation mode. So what you do is that you also go in and save your project as, because right now step 3 is not longer. Step 3 is gone. Now this is a permit set. Step 4. Okay, 1/30/2026. Right, so this right here is going to go into the archive, and it will be named step 3 because that's the last step 3 that was approved. Okay, you save a record of every step. Existing conditions, save a record on the archive, call it step 1. Envision, if you have a package of it, go in, save it on the archive. Step 3, design options. I'm just right now doing it. And I'm doing it a little bit prematurely. It should have been done as soon as it was approved. And but I'm doing it now, right? So now you know the step. You clean up. You would actually clean it up. What I did, the steps I did of cleaning up the drawings, you would do that moving forward. So you save the approved designs as they are, and then you start cleaning on the new, save as a new model, so that you could do that. Why? Because I like to have a record of everything before permit set. What if the scope changes and you deleted sheets that you're gonna need later? Like, oh wow, the client actually wants to do a dormer now and they want to add a garage, and you deleted the sheets. It would become very complicated to have to bring them back. So you don't want to do that, okay? So the other thing I do, hey, I don't make my life too difficult. I'm the guy that likes to keep things simple and straightforward. I got 1,000 things to do. I got 1,000 things to do, so I don't have a whole lot of time. So what do? Right here, I'm gonna need to put a floor plan. So I go into my floor plans. Well, not there, into here, and I'll do the same with the process. By the way, I'll delete all of these steps. I'll delete the ones that I do not need. Like these are sheets that were not needed and they're just empty. Okay, so sheets that do not have anything I do not care about. All of them done. Okay, sheets that do have things I would likely use, but we'll see. Like this is not even applicable, this 3Ds, because this is an inside project. This is a kitchen project. Okay, the elevations are not even applicable in this project. Not applicable right now. Now, if the client was to change the scope, then you will be in trouble if you deleted it because they changed the scope. That's why this step is done after you got approval and you're moving forward. I do not need a roof plan, so that's not necessarily important. Attic plan, not either. It's just a kitchen. Second floor, not needed either. First floor plan, yes. Basement floor plan, yes. Existing. Existing first floor, yes. I have the basement twice. Oh, one is the proposed, one is existing. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so those are cleaned up and they're there. Now we need to migrate them into our permit set. Okay, so what I do is, you know what? This proposed floor plan right here. This proposed floor plan. I can duplicate proposed first floor plan. You could do it with detailing or without detailing. So with detailing, if you don't know the difference, actually watch my Revit videos. This is not a Revit class. I'll do it without detailing because I want it to come like very clean. So and I'll do the rest later because this is for life safety plans. Okay, so for a life safety plan, you do not need a whole lot of stuff. So life safety plan. In this case, I have so much real estate here. By the way, we do not have egress windows, none of those items. So for the sake of space, I'll probably make this into a half an inch, just because we do have a lot of space that we could basically use. So half an inch scale is probably gonna be nice. And I'll likely open up the entire set, the entire view, you know, because life safety people want to see everything that's actually going on. Now, one thing as I thought about it, I think I'm gonna change my mind. Again, judgment calls, right? Like I'm gonna go to one quarter again because I'll also show the basement. Okay, so we got one, and great. I like to always align this thing with the stand of the building, right? So it's nice and clean. Um, I'm not gonna do too much, right? So step one on this is just setting up my stuff. What am I gonna use? I do want to call it life safety plan, first floor life safety plan. Why do I do that? Because it gets confusing here. So I don't want to be lost like looking for it. So basement, we'll do the same thing. So you can just go into your uh, proposed basement right here. You could actually duplicate from here. Regular, boom. All right, beautiful. We're gonna drag that right here, and we're gonna align it. All right. I like to align them, right? So, and then I want to align the text. Okay. So that's looking better. So I'll turn this off. Nice. So, if you do it too close here, when they staple, if they say staple here, it's gonna be too close. You don't want to do it too close. So, and you do have a good amount of real estate, so you just center it as much as possible. Maybe even here like that. Judgment calls. Again, judgment calls. You got to start making these decisions on your own. I'm not going to go in detail into this plan right now because my next steps is just to clean up what I'm gonna need. All right. So it's a brush. I'm brushing it. Whoop, painting it. Right. So what else am I gonna need? Well, I gotta go into the structural, and for those, I'm likely gonna be needing to duplicate my first floor and basement as well. So one thing I'll do, basement. You know what? I'll duplicate this one, and I'm gonna do with detailing because there's not a whole lot that I need to worry about. So this is gonna be your proposed basement structural. Proposed basement structural. All right. And I'm gonna do my first floor, but let me just drop it right into the proposed basement structure so I don't get all confused. Proposed basement structural. Where did I put it? I have a hard time finding these things once I do them. All right. Okay. Again, we probably could do it a little bit bigger. We probably have space for, but I'm not gonna go into it right now. Okay, I'll do the whole basement. The scope is only that size. You don't want to be showing things that you don't really care about. But again, I'll make those decisions as I go. Right now, I'm just gonna show my basement, and then I'm gonna find my proposed first floor plan. Proposed first floor plan. Gonna duplicate these. I'm not going to do detailing, but one thing, I tell you why. It's because something is weird with this. Something is actually weird. Like you see how this thing is like transparent for some reason. Something is really funny with this view. I have no idea. I didn't create the steps, by the way. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to first copy these elements, because once I duplicate without detailing, they will not show up. Okay, so and I'm gonna now come in here and I'm gonna paste this in the same place. You can do same place because I'm gonna need these items. I didn't wanna be too detailed on it, but I'm gonna need these items. And let me just open up this whole floor, and I'm gonna turn off the crop. and I'm gonna call that proposed first floor structural. Proposed first floor structural. All right, so that's good. Okay, I'm gonna drag and drop that proposed first floor structural. Now, as you remember, I was deciding what sheets I was gonna need, and moving this to the left. And I do have a lot of real estate. I have a lot of land to work on. So why am I gonna be filling it up with these details in here when those details could all be consolidated in here? See? So I'm just gonna start dragging this in here, and that's part of being an architect, to do the best use of space. That's actually what it actually means to be an architect: designing space, utilizing space. So you do that even with the sheets that you're working on. You don't just do that with the plans, with the drawings. You do it with even the layout. How do you lay out your stuff? Right? So that's that. So that saved me another sheet. And if you watch our permit set session with one of our gurus here, Julio Gutierrez, he tells you, you don't need a whole lot of stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you haven't watched that video, you got to go watch that video now. Actually, finish this one and then watch that one, okay? So that's what we got going on in here. This is starting to look clean up. It looks good. Great. Now, we're going to fill out our existing. One thing you could do, we already have our existings, guys. We don't have to redo them. You grab it from the previous sheets that you already created, and you drop them together. See that? Right here. Easier to find. Why didn't I do that before? Well, because that's just me. That's Darwin. So our floor plans, our existing floor plans are right here. For the record. Great. That's already been done. People are like, oh, permit sets are difficult. That's the most difficult part of my work. It's like, then you haven't watched my videos. All right? Because it's super straightforward to do a permit set. After you've already gotten these things. Like, look, the proposed plans are already done. You're like, yeah, right, Darwin. No, they are. They are. You just drag them right here. They are done. As you will notice, I have two of them. So it's like, what do I do? It's like, well, this one doesn't need to be there. The scope really focuses on these sheets. Like, why am I going to do this whole space to focus on these sheets and like have all that space blank? It just doesn't make any sense. And then have this, right? So again, as you're doing this, you'd start analyzing like, what's the best use of my real estate? So one thing you could do, have your existings right here, and then just bring your demos right next to it. And by the way, the demos are set up in our template already, so you would probably already have demo plans done, because that's how we work here. We're very organized. So first floor demolition plan. Yeah, they get done basically magically. No, not magically. We did it ourselves because we set up the processes, and you will be able to know that the demo plans are on point. So I like to line them up. Again, make sure that you clean up the crop. Okay. All right, cleaning up the crop. Again, I like to be very efficient with my time. You have to be able to do 20 things within the same timeline. Be very methodical. Be very methodical. I'll tell you right now, in these videos I actually teach more than just architecture. I teach even things that have made me successful in life. So planning ahead, 5 steps ahead and things has made me successful. If you only plan like, oh, I'm only gonna do X, and do only one step, you're setting yourself up for failure. There's somebody else that's gonna come along, is gonna be able to do it in half the time that you did and half the steps that you did, and that person's gonna get rewarded, and it's gonna get promoted, and it's gonna make the money. You're not gonna get it. And why do I teach you my success methods? Because I want you to take over flow at one point. So there's no shame on that. Look, I'm cleaning this whole thing up, and look, because I created this Revit template myself from the beginning. It's been improved with the team, but I created it myself. I created these demo plans already. They've already been done. You just have to annotate them. So our set's starting to look very sexy, and we no longer need this demo thing, but we do need the legend for demo. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move this stuff. Oops, sorry. I don't like nudging, by the way. You see me nudging, that nudging thing? I don't like nudging. I like to drag everything together with my hands. So you're gonna take the demo notes, ceasing to be removed, and drop it right here. Drop it like it's hot. This is starting to look really nice, huh? What do you think? Okay. Revit is amazing, so long as you know how to use it. Okay, so we got our legend. Demo plans are looking so good. We no longer need the demo section. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say existing and demo. Basement. So when it gets like that, fine. You know, you could probably do like first floor, and basement is like BSMT. I think BSMT. People know that that's basement. You can look for that online. You know, and EX. No, people know that that's existing, and demo. Well, that could also mean exterior, but we put a T on it. So that's looking clean. All right, the proposed plans are looking like $1 million also, but you're gonna pick up a couple things here. You're like, wait a minute. So we have these proposed plans. There's a whole lot of real estate here. How could we get this a little bit more efficient, right? We could probably be a little bit more efficient with that too. So we're not gonna have a separate sheet for 3Ds. We're probably gonna put 3Ds in there. We could potentially do our enlarged interior elevations right there too. And we could probably do our enlarged bathrooms right there. It's a simple project. You know, why didn't I delete all of these on the first round of deleting? Because I didn't know what I was gonna need. So now I'm getting closer to the end goal, and I know I'll probably be able to do my enlarge right there. Okay? So in this case, like, you could probably go in. I don't want to get into detailing right these seconds because I don't want to get derailed, so don't distract me. So one thing I could do, look at me telling you not to distract me. I can start dragging details from the window and door schedule because I think I could probably fit that window door schedule right here. And the, you know, all that stuff. I think I could probably just put it right here. Why am I going to be doing all these pathetic things that I can just move into another location? So the window schedule is there. All right, and the door legends and door schedules here, you can drop it in here and you're good. Those of you that have already kind of like been working in Revit and think that know everything in Revit, please give me a like, subscribe, and share, and say, yeah, Darwin, I learned something new that I didn't know. That's the game. The name of the game is learning something new that you didn't know. So, and we have already cleaned up this, and they don't have anything, so we can, as you know, because I've been dragging them, we reuse them. Okay, we can delete it. Oh wow, we're closer to a permit set than you ever thought. Look, we are pretty much there. All right, so you know, we got door schedules, window schedules, we got all these elements. So I go back to this item right here, and I start now making my life safety plan. Okay, so but I also start here too, like the first sheet. We have to update this. All right, so general contractor is actually gonna be Kellogg's Construction. That's not even the owner, but he's representing the owner for us. We have to absolutely update these things in here. So a couple things I'm gonna update. So one, I'm gonna move the project thing down because it seems to be. So you see, because the spacing seems wrong. You see how like crowded it was? Looks a little bit better. Don't feel like this also looks funny in here. I always like the mask to be on the bottom, but this doesn't. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so here what you can do, because that changes it there. So one thing you can do Let's come here. Make this smaller so that it grabs around. Now I don't want to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but you got to start making things look a little bit cleaner, you know. Kellogg seems to be too close to that. It's a template project. If you see template projects, try to fix them. Just, you know, try to fix them. Try to tell the administration, like, that's a problem. It's taking me a lot of time to do that. Right? This looks a lot cleaner, a lot better. No idea why the address doesn't have the number, but we'll do it. 92. And the name of the project should not be 92 Gulf Street Andover. It should be, you know, maybe 92 Gulf Street Kitchen and Bath. Reno? Right? Yeah, the problem continues, right? We gotta drag that down. You know, when you thought you had it done, go down because you gotta make sure it grabs nicely. Okay. All right. So we clean this guy up a little bit. You know, again, it's asking yourselves the question: is any of these true, or is it a lie, or is it a carryover item that has no meaning? Right. So the project update, we're just gonna put the address photo, and so 92 Galt Street, Andover. So I'm going on Google real quick, and I'm actually trying to find a picture of this property. I should have a picture of the property from my site visit, just so you know. I often go to the site and like stand right in front of the house and take a photo. This one doesn't have it, huh? You know, it could be the site, or it could just be the kitchen, because that's the main project. So you could just grab a photo of the kitchen. All right, so I'm just gonna put a photo of the kitchen, which is this right here. Rub it like it's hot, and rub it right in. All right, it's just existing kitchen. Okay. Other things that I want to wonder if they're true or not. This is not true because Kellogg's Construction is the general contractor. So we're gonna come here and say Kellogg's Construction. Isn't that like a cereal? Yeah, it's a cereal. Kellogg's Construction. I'm gonna Google where Kellogg's Construction is located in, you know, construction, so that I can get their address. Now there's a million Kellogg Construction that are not in Massachusetts, so that's a problem. Okay, if you could find them, you do it. If you cannot find them, don't worry about it. Yeah, so they're actually in Andover. So Kellogg, it's not Kellogg's. Kellogg Construction. It's an inspiration. It's not the real. Andover, Mass. Is their location. They don't seem to have an actual headquarters. The phone number that shows up should be the same number that's there. So 7A1 776 5678. Okay, looking good. We do not have a surveyor on this project, and we do not need one. So delete that. You know what? We could call this consultant. Maybe we say kitchen consultant. There is a kitchen consultant in this project. That's why I'm saying it. One thing I like to do too. Sorry. I like to make the space from here to here equal. This is nudging, and I don't like nudging, and I'm doing nudging. But let me teach you the right way. So you just draw a line. Okay? Make sure that you find. Sorry. Oof, that probably hurts in your ears. My apologies. Find the middle line with the triangle, and make sure that you make that be in the middle. Now you know for sure that those are equal, right? So there's only a kitchen consultant, but I made those equal. Log into it. Now this is starting to look true. All right. Funny, the number. Oh, Andover. I didn't put the zip code. Andover, Mass zip code. Andover, Mass zip code. Try to be fast while I do these, guys. Not nice that I am doing it fast, but And I have no idea why their phone number is different. But you say, well, Darwin, how do you know that that was the actual company? I went, as I was on the other side, you didn't see me, on the Google side document, I was looking at the address, and there were reviews on this company, and there were reviews for Jackson. And I know Jackson is the owner, so that's good. All right, the other thing is, we're going to change this and the location. Okay, so you're going to go and find the address once again. And you're going to put a map of the location. Okay, I'm doing it on the other side. You do not see me as I'm doing it, but I am. And that's that. Right here, you see it. Saving that into my desktop very quickly. Because this doesn't let you copy and paste. Elements can only be copied from other sheets. Like, it doesn't let you do copy and paste of that image that I just cropped. So I'll have to just come here and try to get it. Alright. Always sort by date, so you find the latest item and drop it like it's hot. And one thing I do, I grab, oops, oh my gosh. Every time it cries like that, it's because I'm doing a shortcut wrong or something like that. Now, it kind of helps. It kind of helps to, you know what, I'm going to undo that. It helps to delete the old one, so that you don't put an image on top of the other. Grab the corner, put it right in. Scale, which is RE, right here. You pick a corner. You can pick another corner, and I want it to fit within that. And then another thing I like to do is to make sure it's centered on this. And then I'm gonna draw this line right here around the property. It's a way of like highlighting the location of the property. All right, project location right here. Just so you know, I mean, you may have a better idea of how to do all this stuff, but just so you know, we've been complimented as to how great our drawings look. It's incredible. I've seen better drawings, and we never think the best of our work like that, but I just gotta let you know that we've been complimented multiple times by inspectors. You say it's not 3 stories, it's actually 2.5. 2.5 story. Wood frame structure. The existing structure is approximately, I would say 20 feet. And you're like, how do you know that? Well, you can go to the property card and look at that, okay? Oh, I did insert and it's doing that thing. Tall, okay. We do have the property card. You know, we have a lot. You all know the steps, right? So we cannot move forward without having done initial site analysis. This is not in the right folder, but it is correct. So you can find the height here. You can find almost anything you want. The owner, it's James, but for the purposes of this, we just want to know stories and heights. Basement, forced air, carpet, one family, cape. Yeah, this is beautiful. You could take some of this information to write your description, just so you know. I do not see the number of stories. Can you see it? Anybody can see it? You could see a comment below and say, yeah, I saw it from the beginning, Darwin. Are you blind? Okay, couldn't see it. But it is about 2.5 stories. Okay? That's part of this right here. Okay, so we'll leave it as it is. Okay. And code passes how many square foot? That we know. That we know. The house has, because this is from the assessors and they cannot assess your property without knowing the area. What's the area? 2,566. 2,566 square feet. 2,566 square feet. I like to put plus or minus. And I like to put plus or minus. That protects you. Well, now this is a run-on sentence, and we gotta fix this. Run-on sentence is when you go. I'll tell you right now. The existing property at 92 Galt Road, Andover, Mass. is a 2.5 stories wood frame structure. Great, that's not a run-on sentence. That's good. You can breathe. The existing residence is approximately 20 feet tall and encompasses 2,566 square feet, and the current use for run-on sentence. You need to break that sentence into two. Look at you. You're learning English as you do this. So the existing residence is approximately 20 feet tall and encompasses 2,566 square foot. Period. Then comes the good part. The current use for the property, actually, the good part is not that. The current use for the property is single family, residential. The good part is this, and this is the one I care about. This is the one I care about. I don't care about the above. Above is for history. Current. Oh gosh. Current. I don't know. It's not letting me do that. Clean. This is the good part. We gotta fix that. The renovation includes the addition of nope. We're not gonna do that. This is on the template. So the renovation includes an open concept kitchen, new pantry, bathroom relocation in Reno, and new laundry. I know this because I know the project very well, but if you don't, you would actually have to go into the project scope and read it. Okay. It would be good to say at level 1 or at the first floor only. Okay. Good. Right, this is looking good. So who's drawing this? I want to know who drew it. So you know what? Leticia Garcia started it. Darwin Fortuna continued it. Darwin Fortuna reviewed it. And the date's gonna be 1/30/2026. I like to copy that because I wish she doesn't have it. Now this is not for construction. Guess what? We are for construction. So let's change that, because we're gonna go forward into construction mode with this one. All right. Our cover sheet's looking like $1,000,000. You know what? The last thing I do after each sheet, when I know it's true, by the way, this is not a progress permit set, this is a permit set, is that I turn on the stamp. You can use these. Look, you see the stamp right here? You can, beautiful. You're gonna have one too. I want you to have one too. So look, you come here and click on the stamp. And you can turn the stamp on. So when I do that is when I know all of this is accurate. All of this looks good. I'm happy with it, and I can make peace with it. You move on to the next one. This is the title sheet. Not much of it's gonna really be needed. So delete site information, delete code information, because we do not need it. Let's see if this is correct. I think this is correct actually, but a lot of it's not even applicable, but it is correct because we have 2,566. 506, yeah, we do have that. So you know what? I think someone did do the work, but it's not really that important. You know, why? Because we're not adding to the footprint. Zoning only cares. Property zoning only cares about the outside. Does not care about what you do inside. So long as you're not adding units. Ooh, I gotta correct that. Okay, let's put the abbreviations here. You know what? We could even be nicer. Codes and standards could go down here, and I guess we probably would want to align it here and drag this text so that it matches that other one. You're gonna notice a pattern. I am very good on consistency. I do not like having like 1,000 different things looking 1,000 different ways. Again, comes with being an architect. You're expected to be orderly. Alright, so that looks good. It almost looks like a fully wasted page. So let's just give it some room to the left. I did control and so that it's all of it selected. That looks right. I'll stamp it. Okay. International code. Now these dates on this are gonna be changing as I move forward. You see how that one was changed. So this one is gonna change as well. And the same idea goes for, Leticia Garcia started. That one Fortuna continued it. That one Fortuna reviewed it. We go to the next one. One thing, when you are making a lot of progress, like I am right now, and you have problems, if you're in the Dominican or any other country that power outages happen, or even in the United States, you want to save. So just go ahead and save, okay? And I'm showing it there. It's Control S. Everybody knows it's the number one tool you could probably ever use. Control S, save, okay? And it's important to do so because you do not want to lose your work. I actually blame it on the designer if they lose their work. I blame it on you, yeah, whoever is listening, because you got to protect your work. It's hard, All right, life safety plan. A couple of things we are going to have a window here. So I saw that on the design that I missed it. They signed it, but we are going to have a window. I'm not even going to locate it. I know we're going to have a window there, that's all. Life safety plans want room names because they are very tight with the use of the space. And they're gonna want to know where do you get out? How do you get out if there's a fire? So we have a symbol right here. That's a nice little X. We can come here and copy it right out and put it in here. It's too big, right? We could on group, because that group is the group that you had. We probably can make it half the size, and then you can group again, so you can create a new one. That's fine. And this is symbolic, right? It doesn't have to be all like crazy. And we're gonna copy our egress path. You know what? Forget about it. You can copy that egress path thing, but you can just go detail line and find your life safety egress line, which we have in here. Beautiful. It may be a good idea to create a pretty dummy life safety plan on our set so they already exist. Now here's the thing, there's a line between me doing all these templates to make your life easier and me making you lazy, and I don't want to cross that line. I really don't. You gotta know your stuff, okay? So I'm moving my line. Now the code says you gotta put the distance from the most remote location. And by the way, just so you know, for single family residential, and this is a secret, I don't want you to go to, you actually don't need to show egress path. For single family residential, for the most part, it's pretty straightforward how to get out. It's more of a commercial code requirement. And you would say, anybody, most of the designers are having a flow for 5 years would not listen to these videos unless I make them. But if they listen, they will be like, Darwin, you've been teaching me this the whole time and you never told me that I do not need to do an egress path from a single family. Yeah, you don't. You actually don't. All right, so that's it. This is the most remote location. Okay. You kind of have to add it all up. So what we do is you select it and say, okay, 8 foot 11 plus 15 plus 12. So 8 foot 11. 8 foot. So 11 would be 11 divided by 12. So 8 foot 11 will be 8.9 plus, what was it, 15 plus 12. So this is 35 foot 9 distance. Okay, text. Travel distance. 35, what did I say? 35.9. 35.9 means 35.9 feet. Okay, so that's fine. I always like it to kind of be. Another thing I do, I sometimes like to underline it. It's a kind of important text. Okay. And you see, I'm just going in and copying things, and dropping it right here. So in this case, I've noticed the Dominican Republic team has been doing something pretty amazing, and I have to applaud them for it. They actually have made an existing smoke detector with a color and a new. So like here we only counting like the new, we're not counting existence. So so I commend them for that. But yeah, in this case I'm just gonna do these. One thing I've noticed that Marcos does, and most people that work with Marcos do, is that they do like a little E underneath it, and that's how they create existing. So like we'll go here and say like, let's say, okay, let me show you. Text E X or something like that, like right next to it. Not sure what the best way really is, you know. So I'll put one here and I'll put one here. You say, well, Darwin, what do you mean? Like, why are you doing this like that? It's like they need to have it. They should have a smoke detector like that. There's actually a requirement for one to be right next to the stairs. So this is way too close to the stove, so that may trigger a problem later. But we'll figure it out. All right, so we're good. Good. Okay, so egress check. Smoke detectors generally check. What else do we care about here? You know, like this distance right here should be no less than 3 feet. So you can just come here and do a dimension. It's 2, 4. Just, whoops. Just say 3. We're not designing the island. We're not responsible for the island. Clear. Is CL. Okay. We're not responsible for the island. So we just are responsible for the life safety here. So that's what we're doing. All right. For the most part, we're good. I mean, we don't show the top, so we should probably show the top. So let's find a top real quick. You know, the design's gonna be done by others, so, but we want to show it. Okay. All right, so that's looking pretty good. So the life safety looks pretty good. You know, the basement is really not in scope for the most part. I think actually there's like a door. I don't know. Yeah, there's a door here too. I shouldn't be doing existing things on the new life safety plan. That's existing. That's existing. I think that's a bedroom. I actually don't know what this is, guys. So one thing I do in garage, and we should have a garage door. Not that big though. Do we only have one door in flow? Oh my goodness, only one garage door in the entire thing? Oh no, there's another one. Just throw a door there. So this room is utilities. There's a bathroom here. I really don't know what this is. This is family area. You know, one thing I'm doing on this case corridor is we gotta dump in here our life safety components. And you're like, why if we're not showing it? This is the only chance that the building department is gonna have an opportunity to like see this house. These houses have been built like a long time ago, and like they don't get a chance to like see these things, you know. Now for some reason it doesn't let me copy it from there, so I'm trying to copy it from there. So smoke detectors and carbon monoxides are typically right by the stairs. Read this entire text and try to understand it. That's how you're gonna know what these things mean and why they are there. Okay, there's typically a heat detector here, so we're gonna do an H. The bedrooms need to have SDs, smoke detectors. The utility rooms need to have SD carbon monoxides. These family rooms should probably have that. We probably will need to do another SDCO right there. Now, magic thing. This is all existing, and we really don't care much about it. We really don't care much about it. They're like, why are you showing me this stuff? Well, I'm teaching you how to do a set, but I gotta teach you what to do and what not to do. So I'm gonna just do a diagonal transparent and cover everything that's generally not my business. Okay, literally, it's none of my business. I don't care about it. I won't say anything about it. You see, right there. That's none of my business what's happening there. So I'm gonna say existing to remain not in scope. We use the words NIS or not in contract, but yeah, not non-scope or non-contract. You know what? We'll say contract. Okay. What I'm trying to tell the building department is like, listen, stop sniffing around, bro. Like, please, because likely you'll find something illegal in every construction project. There's always something that's not meeting the requirements. It's like, just let people do their thing and be happy. All right. So, and I copy that like crazy. Boom, 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 everywhere. So no in scope. Technically, the bathroom is not in scope too. This bathroom. So I'll do a little amendment on that. Okay. All right. You could copy that same kind of concept in here and drop it like it's hot right here. But in this case, you will, however, have to make some significant improvements to what you're saying is not in scope, because for the most part, most of these is actually in scope, this area. You see? Here you go. Good for you. Yeah, because this door is new. So this door is new. So let's copy that. Yeah, let's go back here. Copy this baby right here. Let's paste this right here. And non-scope. Okay, good to go. All right, this is looking really good. Making progress. One thing I want you to look at is on our sheet T101, we have a legend that says that existing doors need to be 45 degrees and new doors need to be 90 degrees. I noticed that these drawings are not following those standards. So you got to go in here and make every existing 45 degrees. Now, it would take a lot of work to go one by one like that. So what I would recommend is that you literally go into your existing first floor. Existing first floor. I clicked on this button because I was lost there, so I don't know why it was lost. And you could select all doors in this view, or you could go here and do that filter doors. And if their families allow you to do 45 degrees, because not all the families, you see, like, they don't have that option. You could do all of them at once. That would have been nice in theory. In theory, it would have been nice. I'm calling it EX, by the way, on the mark. And the comment's going to be existing. But yeah, it doesn't have the 45 degrees option in here in all of them. So this one has it, so 45. This one has it, 45. This one has it, so 45. Sorry, I wanted to make it so that I could just do all of them, but for some reason something didn't allow me. One of them wasn't, like, I don't think this one does it. You see? Oh no, that one doesn't do 45. I think that 45. Maybe I didn't see the option, but they all do it. 45. It actually also makes the drawing look a little bit better because this windows colluding with each other, it's not really optimal. Sorry, my background music gets a little funky from time to time. Alright, so does that make sense? Yeah, okay, good. So yeah, I changed it here. Well, because this is a 3D element, it also changed it here. Hey, look at that. Yes. Another item is that you should consider these stairs a means of egress. Okay, so we're gonna put an X in there too. Because they're gonna ask, okay, wait a minute, you're taking the door that's right here and they're killing the means of egress. We need two means of egress. Like, oh no, we don't. We have two means of egress by virtue of going down here and being able to go outside. Something isn't right here. I think this wall doesn't go straight like that. I think it goes this way. Something isn't right in here. For real, something is not right. So something is just not right. Same idea. Do your 45. I don't think that all of this is accurate. But I'm not gonna question it right now. So we're gonna do 45 degrees right here too. By the way, this is all being drawn in the news. You have to make sure, because they're not new. You have to make sure you change the face. I just realized that they don't look right. So I'm trying to fix it. 45. All right. 45. And 45. Okay. Another reason why I'm making this video, just is that I ask people like, oh, I need this permit set by tomorrow, and on our running list meetings on Mondays, people look at me like I have 3 heads, like that's impossible. Change your frame of mind and be more respectful. When I say that something can be done, it can be done because I'm doing it. All right. So, and sorry, I'm schooling you even as I do this, but for real, because people look at me like I have 3 heads and I'm talking something that's nonsense. That's never gonna happen, and it can be done because I'm doing it right here, and I'm actually talking when I'm doing it. All right, it's kind of the equivalent of somebody swimming backwards in a swimming competition, like with their head backwards. Okay, now I moved from life safety to structural, and I did these in like non-thinking mode, just so you know. So I started adding all of these things by just like thinking about it, but technically I don't need these room names for a structural. A structural cares about one thing and one thing only. What's this column? What's this column? What's this beam? What's this column? What's this column? All right. So we're gonna answer that question now. You ready for structural? And yes, we are done with the life safety. We can come in here and stamp it. Stamp it. I got the rail because I got a little emotional about about the fact that when I say something can be done, it can certainly be done. Please don't look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. 31, 30, 20. So it can be done. Now it's actually very frightening to you as a designer that I'm saying it can be done. I'm telling you it can be done. You're telling me it cannot be done. When you say it cannot be done, you are essentially telling me you're not able to do that job, and there's gonna be somebody else out there that's gonna be able to do that job. The answer should be, I want to know how you could get it done so that I can also get it done. And if anybody on earth can get it done, I can get it done. Okay? Because if you start saying, no, it cannot be done, there's somebody knocking on the door right outside Flow Design Architect saying, I can get it done, and I want your job. Okay. All right. So that's that. All right. So structurals. All right. So I'm cleaning it up to make sure all this is applicable. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna size a beam. Ready to do that? Dun, 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 dun. Yes. So the ways to size a beam, I always ask people to answer the following questions. A simple beam. Okay. And there's a video on that, but you're getting a bonus video right now. I'm gonna make text really big for the purpose of this. All right, sizing simple structures for open concept kitchens. Step 1, span of beam. Step 2, loads on beam. And they can be two ways. A, are they uniform loads? B, point loads. So you got to pick those. Okay, so if we have point loads, we got to say it. If we have uniform loads, we got to say it, and we got to figure them out. If A has tributary areas or widths, okay. B have like location on beam, okay. All right, great. Keep that in mind, okay. So I'm gonna explain what each one is. So first things first, beam span is the length of the beam from here to here. How long is this beam? It's about 13 feet 1 3/4, 13.2. I always try to convert it. 2 divided by 12 equals 0.16. So this beam is 13.016. Okay, 13.16. So that's that. We got it. Span of beam 13.16 feet. Got it. All right. I'll bold it and make it clean. All right, so this beam, it's supporting a floor above it. The floor above it, we are interpreting it to go this way. What do I mean by that? That the joists are sitting from the floor above it at about 16 inches on center using the following pattern. We also believe that they're doing so on the other side. And they're sitting right on top of those walls that were there before, that we're actually removing, okay? So the tributary area refers to the following concept. It refers to the fact that that beam is supporting about half of all of this load. So this entire area that's hatched, I'll make it black or gray so that we can see it better. This area right there, it's load above that's sitting, but not all of that load sitting on this beam. Half of it sitting on that wall, half of it sitting on the beam. So the tributary width refers to half of this distance. So you're gonna come here and say, okay, half of this distance, and I like to use the middle point. So tributary width 1 is 8.6, which is the same thing as, 8'6", which is the same thing as 8.5, because if you do 6 divided by 12.5, so that's 8.5. That's 1. This is the area that this beam is actually supporting. Okay, same is true for the other side, but it's gonna have a different area. All right, so we go this way. It's gonna be supporting half of this area. Okay, so this is the area that sits on that beam. All right, so we got tributary area A and tributary area B. Sometimes we have beams that only support one side. For instance, if there is a big opening in here for a door or whatever, it will only be supporting half of this area. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I really do. I hope that makes sense. Now, when you look at the structure, you may think that probably there's a beam that goes in here, and that may be true. That may be true. Our assumptions is that it's in here for now. When they open up ceilings and walls, we'll ask them to please let us know. But this is the area. All of these things I've been doing are just to demonstrate the concept. I am not expecting you to do these on permit sets, meaning the sketch. I expect you to calculate it the way I'm calculating it, but not to sketch it like this. All right. Maybe you do, just for your own purpose. All right. So we're only supporting 8.5 on one side and 4.5, if you will, on the other side. All right. Are there any point loads? So we got the loads A. Those are all loads A. There's not point loads, guys. There's not point loads. Upstairs, this is just a floor, and there's no point loads. So you do not need to worry about point loads right now. Watch my structural class, and I'll tell you more about it. Point loads look like this. They're points sitting on a beam. Okay. All right. So we're able to go into our new program, structural program, and we're gonna size a uniformly loaded floor beam. Step 1. What's the span? Span is 13.16 feet. Step 2. What's the tributary width? Number 1, 8.5. Step 2, still part of step 2 is loading it, 4.5. All right, so let me illustrate this a little bit better for you, okay? Because I believe that these things do require to be illustrated. So the span refers to the distance from here to here, which is that distance from here to here, which is this dimension. Got it? Good. Okay, we got it. All right. So the loads on it, which are uniform loads, tributary width refers to 1, this distance, and 2, this distance, which is that and that, which is half of that and half of that, right? Because half is being supported by that and half is being supported by that, right? Hope this is clear. Hope this is clear. Please comment below if you don't think this makes any sense, okay? And we'll make it make sense. Now, you've already loaded successfully your beam. You know the span of the beam, you know the tributary width, you know the tributary width on both sides. There's no point loads. This project does not have point loads, meaning there's nothing pointing sitting on top of it. All right, so we're able to now go simply into our design options in that sense. So we always go to structural composites for this type of buildings. There's an entire Revit training on beams and columns. All right, I do not want to be redundant on that stuff. So there's an entire training on these structures. So I'm just sizing them and I'm gonna get going because I do have to grab this set up and I got things to do. So that's that. That's gonna work very likely. So 3 of those, 11.25. Let's do, yeah, that works. Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna save these very quickly. Call it 92 gold. 26, 30, 20, 26. Okay, so that's that. The next item that we need to size is the columns. Okay, so you just go back to your columns right here. And the first step, and basically almost the only step, is to loading. Okay, so I just saved load them. So you go here, and as you know, it's gonna support size B. Great. And you go to materials right here. You're gonna we always like columns to be square, so you could do a 3.25 by, yeah, that passes. Okay, so we'll do a 3.5 by 5.5 column. We always like them to be square, but in this case we're not gonna do that. Okay, so this is it. FLB1, COL2. So you could come here and say COL2, refer to report. COL2, refer to report. And you're like, why are you using the same one twice, Darwin? Because, and by the way, I'll take that out, because they are supporting the same load, both of them. Okay, you guys know that they're supporting the same load. And then here you could come here and say literally FLB1 refer to report. These lines that I drew just for the sake of explaining things to you can be sent to the graveyard. I'll just hide him. I'll hide this one too. And this thing also could be hidden. And this 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 could be hidden. I don't need any of those. You're like, all this work and that's it? That's it? Yeah, that's the structural for this project. You do have to track that same load down to the next floor. So you're not gonna need a column here because this likely is gonna be sitting right there. Like, sorry. So you can say COL2 from above because it sits right on the concrete. Oops, what happened? Yes, it's right outside the crop line. This happens to you, that's what it means. You got right outside the crop line. This one, however, is gonna need to be different. This one's gonna need to be different. I'll tell you why right now. So we do not do LBLs in the basement like that because most of the time those LBLs will rot. They sit on concrete. So we need to make another column. And it's gonna be made out of steel. And it's typically about 3.5 inches or 3 inches. And all you're gonna do is support the column from above because it's about the same load that's gonna be sitting on it. You're done. Okay, so that's done. That's overkill, so we could probably go with another one because it's yeah, that's still overkill. Still overkill, but 3 inches is more than enough. And then we're gonna size the footing. All right, so you're getting a full cake here. This is both a structural class and in how to make a permit set class. All right, so you load that column there, and we typically do 2 feet by 2 feet. This could be even like 1.5. So here, by the way, this is something I just learned recently. So the software tells you what it needs. The structural software, like right now, it says like it's required to be 1.8 square. So you can just do a 2 because it's telling you what it's required to be. This is new. I didn't know this. So if somebody comes into Flow and says, I know everything, blah, 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 I'll be like, walk out of the door. You don't know everything because I don't know everything and I've been around for a long time. So, yep, there you go. Humbleness. We got to be humble. All right, so that's footing. And that footing is going to be here. So you're going to say this is COL6. Refer to report. And we're going to do a 24 by 24 thing, so it's going to be 12 this direction, 12 inches, and 12 inches this direction. So it will be the same thing as saying detail line square. And by the way, I think you can do 2 feet. This is cool. I didn't know you could do it like that. You see, again, every day you learn something new. Every day. I just literally told it to be an offset. You have to do that again. You do it. I'm not doing it. I gotta get going. But it was pretty cool what I just did. It was pretty cool. So you could just come here and say footing. I'll say the size on this. So this is was it 12 by 12? Hold on. I'll type something and close out and go back. What did I do? Oh yeah, this is 2, so it's 24. 24, yep. All right, 24 by 24 or 2 by 2 footing. Refer to report. They need to do that. This could sit right there. We do not have a problem with that. Those foundations are typically more than enough, so we don't have to worry about it. All right. I do want to copy my nice little hatch that tests what work is actually being done and what work is not being done because it really keeps things clean. Not there. I think it's this one right here. It keeps things really clean. I don't want to be, disrupting too much. You know. All right, so let's do the same thing for the upper floor. It just keeps things. No, that's not the upper floor. My bad. That's another thing. Maybe I should do it backwards. So I'm kind of shifting them here. What was the basement? All right. You know. See, it keeps it clean. All right. I'll hide this baby because we do not need it. This. We gotta do a new one. New. Because that's the one on the basement. I'm gonna say refer to report. It's just illustrating the concept, but I don't want to tell him what it is. I'm gonna put that thing here. It says new footing refer to report. Okay, this is the one we want. This we do not care about because this is actually this is the one of the first floor, so this is existing. Okay, this is the new one that we just did, and you know what? To be honest, that's the size. That sounds right. That sounds right. Believe it or not, that sounds right. And this 4x6, yeah. This is an LVL column though. Refer to report. This has a purpose, guys. This whole diagram has a purpose. In fact, this is one of the most important things. And this right here is trying to show you like what does the footing look like. You know, how do you attach it to the ground? Right? You can have it this way, you can have it that way. Those are options. I'm actually gonna delete this one right here. All right, so put my stamp on it. Hey, this is beautiful. So we're done there. Our demo plans is pretty much done. We could go back to what I mentioned before, right? Of taking our little area of work and pasting it right in. So that way we don't talk about things that we do not care about. I'll put the tags on it anyway. All right, so I don't like that he has this hatch on it. Shouldn't have it. Now, this sheet is an exercise into how you type the word remove and dispose, because you're gonna be writing that word 1,000 times. Remove and dispose of tub. Sorry, that text. What happened to it? There you go. It's not gonna be 1/4, by the way. We're not gonna use that text. That's not the text we use here for. It will be this one. So just make sure that you know for that size. For the diagrams outside, yes. Of existing tub. Again, that's why I copy it. Remove and dispose of existing window. You know another word you could do instead of remove and dispose of existing tub, you could say existing plumbing fixture and associated elements. That really saves your life, because you could use the same one and point to the toilet. Toilet is a plumbing fixture. It's like saying remove all humans. It's like instead of remove 1D, right? No, remove all humans. So that helps. That really helps. Let's do the same with this. And sorry that I used that example. It's a little crazy. This guy's crazy. Okay, I'll do the same for the dishwasher. Remove and dispose of door and associated existing door and associated hardware. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's gone. You know, again, you get creative over time. If I practice this drawing thing over more, I will get better at it. But I don't draw as much as you probably would imagine. So, all right, middle line, middle line. So here I'm gonna get really creative. Kitchen, counters, soffits, cabinets, and associated elements. Here you go. It's getting really good. The door one could be. There's another way of doing this. I'll explain it later. There's another way of doing this. It's with keynotes, which I have not gotten into with you just yet. I think this door is gonna go. Maybe the door remains. All right, so that goes. Okay. All right, so we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. We're almost there.
That's nice.
Hey, look at that like that. Bring a pack of diapers.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Any size for your chance to win a prize.
Yo creo que se prohibió share tu buena parte.
Bueno, nada. Bueno,
All right, so this is looking pretty good. I do not like overlapping things.
That's two.
Yo.
Yeah, three is the lucky charm. Yeah, two, one more.
No es que hasta que tú no tengas dos, yo no puedo tener.
No sé.
No creo.
¿Sabes que a mí me pregunta yo delante? Sí.
All right, so this is looking really good. So we're pretty much done there. This was started by someone that worked in the Dominican, so they wrote the word abajo, which means down. So arriba it's up, abajo is down. I have no idea why they did that because we work in the United States, but okay. All right, so we're pretty much done with that demo. This one, it's funny that it's not showing. Oh yeah, because I drew the garage and this is not showing like my columns and things like that. So what you do is go back here. And what was being proposed essentially becomes like your demo. Okay, so I'm gonna delete that stuff. Because now you're gonna say remove portion of slab for new footing. Alright, so that's that. There's no demo there, so and we could continue to copy our kind of aerial work hatch right here. Like if you defined that aerial work earlier, you probably would have been reusing it over and over. Here. Okay. Right, so this is done. This is done. This is done. There's some funny things happening in here. It has to do with the demo and the propose. It just gets funny. But this is done. The demo is done. So we just go here, stamp it, and continue. PDF. PF 130 2026. Okay, this is done. Let's make sure there's no overlapping. You can take a glance at it, look at it carefully. Let's fix that door. The way to fix that door is you just go to the proposed plan. It could be the life safety, and because I did it like as if it was new. Remember, I was doing it in the new, so so now if you go to the demo, it fixes it. You see, because it's not actually new. Something is funny here too. I don't think there's an opening there. I don't think there's an opening there. Oh, that's from above. This is showing up from the first floor, I think. Maybe. No, it's not. I don't know what I was doing there. It's an unidentified object. UFO. You're gonna see me too say things like UFO. The stairs don't show here for some reason. Alright, and we're gonna go into the best part of our proposed plans. Guys, this project is about 90% structural. We don't have a whole lot of windows. We can get rid of these headers. Literally. We do not have a big window. We do not have this tiny window. We probably don't even have this window A. Honestly, we may not have a lot of these items. Yeah, so we probably only have 2 types of doors in our project, so let's get rid of these other doors. We may have double ones, and I don't think we have bifolds, so we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. Oh, I deleted the single one right here. Sorry, undo. Did I? No, I don't think so. All right. We do have a single that we need, so we should probably try to get it, because we do need a single flush door. And you're like, what are you doing? I just created another one. Sorry, created another one, copying that one. And what we're gonna do now is that we're gonna change that component to a single door. So single door. Yeah, it could be any of these. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Make sure this line just stands through. If it's getting overwhelming with the amount of items, you could just like line them up like that. I'm sure there's a million things that I'm doing that are actually not that great, so remember the intent of the project is a simple kitchen renovation. I always tell the story of like people that do you remember the letter that said like, oh, sorry, this letter is 10 pages long because I did not have enough time to write a shorter letter. Because writing things short and concise and precise take actually more time and thinking than to just ramble around and around and around and around. So that's what happens with drawings. Somebody doesn't know what to do and what they're supposed to do. They start doing a bunch of junk. Sorry to say it like that. Because they do not know the intent of the project, what's required. Now, this plan, it's pretty much done. Why? Because, and I'm not even gonna do a bunch of like bathroom plans and things like that. Why is this basically done? Because we designed this. This is part of the design package. So you can just literally come in here and dimension these guys. You know? 15 and 15 is 30. Yeah, that's more than what we need. 30. Make sure we have to have 30 inches clear here. For the code, 30 inches. Yeah, we have more than what we need. 2 foot 4 would have been enough. 2 foot 6. Yeah, so we need 2 foot 6. you know, these dimensions already tell me like where these things need to go. Oops, sorry. I'm not going to dimension a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna draw a line, dash line, that's gonna show the cabinets go above it. And the kitchen design is by others. So I am doing the tab, you know, we should probably, oops, we should probably show a sink in here because we need to show a sink. But the sink is gonna be by others, so I'm just gonna show something in here for now, and say honestly, kitchen design by others. That's all we need to care about. Now it's unfortunate I had to get involved in this project, and it's unfortunate that the client had to reach out to me. This project should have been finalized already, all of these steps. I'm not gonna run this as a training, but that's very unfortunate, because now the client's gonna think that essentially like if they don't call Darwin, things don't get done, and then it sets like a precedent that they always have to call Darwin so that things do get done. That's not good. That's horrible. I always say refer to S100 so that we don't say the same thing twice. Have you been asked to say the same thing twice and then not remember? That's the best way to catch a lie. Tell me the story again. Oh, because yesterday was yellow. Okay, 3 days later. Tell me the story again. Oh, it was kind of green, yellowish. It's like, they're lying. Structural, refer to S100 beam. Okay. So for the most part, this is essentially done. So we're gonna this guy. You can go to the structural and copy your footing so that you know and paste it in here. Same problem again, the crop, right? Okay, this looks really good. And it's only taken me an hour and a half to do. Well, I'm gonna stamp this baby and I put the date on it. And G, the F, 1/30/2026. There's some glass that needs to be tempered. In fact, all of the windows, I would probably call them tempered. So let's go here. I'll tell you why. When you are in a bathroom, you can trip and you can get hurt. So in fact, this window that's here needs to be demo, unfortunately, because they're not gonna be able to have that there. So I copied it, demoed it, and I'm putting it right back in place. And you're like, what? Why are you doing that for? Because the new one is to be demoed. So we're gonna put tempered glass. And we're gonna tag it. And we're gonna call this one also tempered glass. That's another item that we need to go in and fix. So this one doesn't need to be tempered. My apologies. Sorry. This one doesn't need to be tempered. So we've tagged all of our doors. Oh, this one. Oh, this one is existing. Okay. There's something funny happening. I don't know how to fix it, and I don't want to spend all day fixing it. But there's something that's making everything in this view like half-toned or like invisible. I don't know what it is, to be honest. I really don't. Because you see, you shouldn't be able to see those lines. But so I gotta make it very, very clear that this is tempered glass. Because if I don't, and I'm matching properties, they're going to order the wrong ones, and it's gonna cause a problem. So even though I'm gonna tell them, I'm going to, and then on type, yeah, type A's, the type A's need to be tempered. So the word here is yes. The type B's, they don't need, but the type A's, yes. You see the comment says tempered? That's good. Okay. The door, I'm not gonna mess with it too much. Okay. All right, so I think we got all of the major elements of this project done. Now it's kind of like the fun, easy part. We're just gonna make PDFs of all of these things. Quick glance at it, make sure that everything looks good. For the most part, this is really spot on. So it should be fine. Yes, let me just go back to the life safety, because we do have a legend that says tempered, so we got to kind of like follow up on it. All right. Technically, even the ones in the kitchen should probably be tempered, to be honest, because what if they hit it with something? It's a hazardous condition. That's the definition. So like if you are in a hazardous condition, you need to be tempered glass. So I'll just protect myself, and I'll just make an all temper right now. This is coat staff, so I don't expect you to know that. Tempered, yes, right here. And tempered, yes, right here. I'm being a bit redundant. What I've noticed is when you're redundant, people do the opposite of what you expect. Like when you tell them to do something 100 times, they actually don't do it. But it's good to tell them. So you know, do a quick glance. Okay, all of this looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. I guess this could be more centered. Let's do it like that. Looks good. Looks good. We're golden. Save. You're gonna make a PDF. You're gonna send to the client. You're gonna follow our steps, and you're good to go. You guys like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.